back. Seaman City Chatter Podcast. Rob LaFleur to my left. Locally loved, internationally known, as always, Lobo. John Opoka, head of the Opoka Palace, and we're back. How's everybody doing this week?
That's Big John Stud.
Big John Stud.
Mm-hmm. I got a question for you. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
What?
52.
Well, a woodchuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
That absolutely did not make sense.
I'm about
It
to
absolutely
upchuck.
is. A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Is that like a dad joke answer?
That is not a dad joke. I have a way better dad joke than that.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yes.
well, let's hear
It's
your
dad joke time.
Well, it's really not a dad joke. It just kind of happened. So, we always talk about how Raquel is such a good cook.
Amazing cook.
She didn't cook this weekend, by the way.
I know.
She catered.
She made the corn.
The
did make the corn.
elote was awesome.
But Big Mike's barbecue, you can't beat it. I'm telling you right now, Big Mike's barbecue is the best I've had in a long time.
Shout out to Big Mike.
Yes.
Did a good job.
So I went and friended him on Facebook. We should probably, it was that good that we definitely need to make sure we share his contact with the community because he actually lives here in town.
Yes, he does. He lives off of Villa Road.
Yeah, and he's local, and
His son actually plays football and basketball at Heritage.
That's right. But Raquel ordered ribs, chicken,
Brisket.
and brisket.
Oh, the chicken was amazing.
Now the thing
I
about
don't even eat chicken. I ate like 4 chicken legs.
but here's the thing about it: when you order 3 different meats, usually from a caterer, it pretty much all tastes the same. This guy literally put different seasonings on the chicken, different seasonings on the ribs, different seasonings on the brisket. It literally, came from different batches of seasoning, and it was all fall off the bone. It was probably the best barbecue I've ever had in my life.
Probably the best chicken I've ever had. It had that nice bite through skin. It was
and
perfect.
his woodchuck chucks different kinds of woods for that.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
There you go.
But
So anyway, we always talk about how she cooks, and she's tired. She's doing a lot of things right now. She's got a big expansion at work where she's running now 3 different cities instead of 1 city as far as what she does. And so, as a matter of fact, we're going to Houston this weekend because she's got stuff doing in Houston.
Yep, and it's your birthday Friday.
It is my birthday.
So y'all wish him a happy birthday on Friday.
I will be 12 years old. Going on 70. But no, so I decided I was going to help her out. And I've told you before, I don't know how to cook. You know how to cook. You probably know how to cook some. I don't know how to cook anything. I can't make microwave popcorn. But I said, I'm going to learn. So I went and got a pan, and I went out and I got some sticks from outside, and I put them in the pan and started frying some sticks.
Is that your dad joke?
No.
Oh, okay.
Started frying these sticks.
Okay.
And she got mad at me.
Frying sticks.
It was a non-stick pan.
There's the dad joke.
Absolutely. Non-stick
the
pan.
dad joke.
Don't fry sticks in a non-stick pan.
So is this an original dad joke?
It was pretty original, yeah. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, non-stick pan. What are you doing? You're putting sticks in some pans, not in other pans. And,
Well, you know how The Rock steals your dad joke, so.
well, he stole the one, but, this was, yeah.
I still haven't seen Jungle Cruise.
Sometimes I just look at things and I think, why not? Like, why do they call a woman mannequin a mannequin? Why don't they call it a womankin? Well, you ever thought about that?
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now,
Deep
that
thoughts.
just blew my mind, especially this day and age, especially, that
Well,
post.
yeah, with all the equality, Me Too, and all that stuff, like, it should be a womankin.
Well, I saw...
Although I do have to tell you, Travis Matthew, the golf company, they have a shirt that says Dad Bod on it. They're proud of the Dad Bod. And they literally have a Dad Bod mannequin that has a gut. And they dressed him up in some Jesus sandals and a fanny pack with the Dad Bod shirt with the gut. And I thought, that is excellent marketing.
Yes.
Because you see the mannequin always looks like, one of the Greek statue
Exactly.
type people.
Or like when you go into Dick's Sporting Goods, they have the Under Armour statue.
and they're just chiseled.
Dude, have you
Dude is
seen
like,
Have you seen like the real big women ones though? Like they're like giant. Like the Under Armour like guy. Their mannequin is like jacked. He looks like Dwayne Johnson and stuff.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
Terminator.
But Dick's Sporting Goods has these women that are like as big as me, muscled up, the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm not messing with that lady. I don't care if she has a head or not. I'm not messing with her. She might whoop my ass. I don't mess with her.
Nah, no kidding. So I posted something the other day that, I mean, like you said, the mannequin womankin. And what's funny is we're just joking about it, but I'm sure there'll probably be somebody have a comment about,
Man,
it's
everybody
politically
hates me
correct.
anyway. I don't give a shit.
But did you read the one? Did you read that one I posted? It said nowadays you have to be able to explain the birds and the bees, and the bees and the bees, and the birds and birds, the birds that used to be bees, the bees that used to be birds, the birds that look like bees, the bees that look like birds but still got a stinger.
That's almost a tongue twister.
So I thought that was pretty funny, and then of course
Well, they can chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck. I can tell you that.
a few people thought it was some sort of a non-joke, but
No, all 5 of them liked it. I saw it.
yeah.
Well, there is a certain
Blowing up the internet with that
there's a
one.
certain alias guy that didn't like it. He kind of poked fun at you, didn't he? I don't know if we want to make him famous or not.
nah.
He did though.
I don't think he was poking fun.
The same
He
one
just-
that doesn't like me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is he just can't take a joke. I mean, something's got to be funny. I mean, what's funny to him? I don't know.
Well, the guy's just an idiot. I mean, I literally every day I wake up and it's an old post and he's commenting about how much he hates me. And, my problem is I didn't know his situation. I was like, find me, mofo. I'm easy. I'm at Beef O'Brady's every day at 3 o'clock. Come on up. Let's get to crooking and clacking. Let's just get these hands rolling.
Yep.
And then I find out that he's not that guy. And I'm like, well, crap. No, I can't. I mean, I was thinking maybe of getting my own scooter and we would do a joust. He can be in his scooter and I'll be in mine and we'll do a joust.
Yeah.
And if not, then he can just shut the hell up because I'm tired of hearing his mouth anyway.
Well, you should be quiet because you're not showing enough diversity here. We're not diverse enough. This is all one-sided combo.
Well, of course, because one guy doesn't like that because
But we need you to
he
be
has
diverse
a
about
social
it.
justice warrior. And look, I'm going to tell you right now, we are very diverse. You guys don't realize this, but we're very diverse.
We are.
John doesn't like me to talk at all. I say whatever the hell comes out of my brain, comes out of my mouth. I don't have a filter, and I don't care. I don't care if anybody likes me. And John doesn't understand that, and so we fight all the time about it.
It's because I'm a Christian and I do a great job of judging people.
I'm a Christian too. I just choose not to judge people because that's what Jesus told us to do.
Well, not according to him. Christians do great jobs of judging.
Well, he's a
Does that mean he's not Christian?
I'm not allowed to say fucking, but he's a fucking idiot. He really is. This all started over a stupid thing, and literally, I'm going to say what's in my mind. I really don't care. See, I fought for this country, and I believe in our freedom. And my freedom is to say whatever's in my mind, whether you like it or you don't. And that's kind of like what we're all built on in this country. And if he doesn't like it, then he can do something about it, or he can just sit there in his little, scooter and whine, or we can joust. I'm good with jousting. I'm sure you can come up with some jousting sticks, and we can get another.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do it on a monkey bike if I have to.
We'll say, hey,
We'll joust it out.
Got all kinds of stuff to ride.
We're all buddies, and we're all proud of each other's accomplishments. We
Yes.
brag on each other all the time. What's wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with me sharing something, an accomplishment of one of my buddies?
Well, see, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, if you got a promotion at work, we're going to say, hey, Rob got a promotion. Good for Rob. He's our buddy. HUD is our buddy. Hey, good for HUD. He won city council. You built that beautiful red bike over there, that road glide. You did all that speaker stuff and all that on it. You deserve to be, hey, John, good job on that show bike. It's all over the place and it's getting shown, and good for you, John. We do those kind of things because that's what friends do.
Yeah. Well, we support each other, and I don't know if that seems weird to some
And then
people,
somebody
but
comes out and they say some dirty shit about it. Oh, they're kissing ass, this, that, the other.
Or does anybody care about this? Well, yeah, I do because I posted it.
Well, he may not care, and that's fine. He doesn't need to care. I mean, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt me getting jobs.
Right.
I mean, I'm famous. I Google myself, 6 pages of me comes up. He's not hurting my feelings.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at him. You know, to me, if you want to make yourself the piece of crap that you are, like you want to put that in the forefront, then go ahead and be a piece of crap. I don't care.
Right.
I really don't think about things like this, honestly. I try to do happy thoughts all day long as much as possible. But yeah, I cuss like a motherfucking sailor. That's what I do. My grandpa had a saying, he said, what's the difference between shit and poop? It smells the same. It's the way I act. It's the way I talk. It's what I do. You don't like it? Fine. I don't get hired to be a good guy on TV. I get hired to be a bad guy on TV. Welcome to the bad guy. I'm right here. I am the bad guy. So hate me all you want. I don't give a shit. Still making money.
It's okay. I'm the bad
Speaking
guy.
of that, I made a TikTok this morning.
Did you TikTok?
No, I do. Yeah, that's my guilty
That's
pleasure.
so uber weird.
That is cute.
No, I mean
we learned something
it's
new.
college humor. And
I don't
it's
even
just
have
mindless.
a TikTok.
It's just mindless.
Trump said we
Yeah.
shouldn't have a trip. What's it called? TikTok.
TikTok.
Trump said that was the Chinese getting in on us, and apparently you voted for Biden.
No, I did not.
Well, that's what I'm saying now, because you have a TikTok. If you
No,
have a TikTok, you voted for Biden.
Well, they came up with the agreement. Now they're making money on it. So there you go.
So, hey, speaking of which, I got to tell one story real quick. So, my son goes on a last-minute trip.
Do we not even get to hear John's story about the TikTok?
No, because I'm used to getting stepped all over like a doormat.
Shut up, Rob.
Shut up, Rob. Where's the easy button? So tell us about your TikTok first. And
It's
then we're
going to be
hear
quick.
Rob's story.
I did a TikTok with you getting smashed over the head with the chair. It was pretty funny.
Well, why didn't we see it?
Well, because you guys don't watch TikTok.
I have a
TikTok.
TikTok just so I can watch the videos that.
Oh, really? You voted
guys-
for Biden too?
No,
You voted for Kamala then?
no.
You voted for one of them because you didn't vote for Trump because Trump doesn't like TikTok.
Well,
No, I think he's all right with TikTok now.
he's okay with TikTok.
Yeah,
Is he on TikTok? He's not on anything else.
Fuck, he's got to be. He's banned. They banned him from everything else.
Dude, what would be better than like him and Tidy Whitey's doing the floss dance from back in the day on TikTok?
Yeah, that'd be badass.
That would be fucking
Actually, they're
ridiculously
supposed
cool.
to show Mike Lindell's going on the news tonight. He's releasing all this information. Should be interesting. It should give a lot of something for somebody people to talk
To have
about at
another
least.
conspiracy theory about
My wife.
Trump's going to take back over. No,
So,
Trump,
okay.
Trump needs to run again in 2024 if he wants it back.
Which
but
leads
good
me
luck with that.
into my story, anyways, because you know my wife. So Brendan goes out of town this weekend with his mom, and they're down in San Antonio, and he actually brought her a gift back, and it's a Biden bottle opener, and the bottle opener is actually his mouth. His mouth's open, and he brought it to Karen. He said, "Here, I want you to have this, so you can always jam something down this guy's throat." It was just pretty clever. He's, you know,
Does he only open blonde beers now?
I don't know,
Yeah, blondes.
blonde beers.
So what else is going
Can't
on?
do wine because wine is aged. He likes them young.
So the hot sheets. There's a couple things that we saw. So what about? Okay,
Saul?
we saw online one
You know,
lady.
hang on, wait.
lady's.
One time I went to Arkansas
Yeah.
and I saw a saw that could outsaw any saw in the world.
How much wood?
I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever go to Arkansas and see a saw that can outsaw any saw in the world, you've really seen a saw.
Wow. So they kind of put the Woodchucks out of business.
The teeth. Oh, there. Yeah.
All right, so anyway.
Okay, so
we're reaching.
what's up with?
We're reaching. We're not reaching that. My dad used to tell me that all the time.
So what's up with?
Poor guy died, you know.
One poster's really trying to get her husband a job.
Yes.
No.
Who all is hiring that accepts felons? Or more particularly, my husband would like to work in drywall, and as that is where he's experienced. Now we all know your husband is a felon.
He's probably like,
I would be
"Babe,
like, hey, bro,
thanks for
can we
putting that
keep
out there."
Yeah, can we keep that kind of under wraps? Like, I'm just not, you know.
Well, that's the
geez.
last thing I want is my wife saying, "Hey, my husband's a felon. He's looking for a job." Okay, there's strike 1 and 2.
Well, first thing I wouldn't want my
Well, and
wife
then the
to
other
have to
thing
find
is
me
now
a
you know
job.
he's deadbeat, or in her mind anyway, because he's
Right.
not getting a job. You know, dude, that's hard. You know, if you're a felon, it's hard to find a job. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I know this, not from personal experience, thank God, but it's hard. And then now on top of it, now everybody knows you're a felon on top of it. It's like, thanks, babe. Love you too.
Did me a solid.
Let me go get you some roses on that one. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't, I mean,
When I read the post, it was just kind of a shake my head moment. And I'm going,
that'd be
"Oh,
like,
Lord."
hey, does anybody know how to fix genital warts. I mean, mainly saying, like, my husband's got those genital warts.
Yeah.
You got to get those suckers off. They're bumpy. You're like, come on, man. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Are you okay, John?
We might lose John.
I swear to God, I thought he was hitting the censor button on me on that one.
Seaman City Chatter may be taking applications for new co-hosts.
I thought he was hitting the censor button on me on that one. But, I mean, but seriously, like, you don't just go spread that out there. Like, hey, bro, my husband's a convict. Can you help him out? Like, there's probably a tactful way to say that. Like, does anybody know that anyone that's hiring is...
that's along the lines of, hey, does anybody know a good doctor in town that prescribes Viagra?
Yeah. The old man's having a hard time getting it up, so, somebody help me out. Like,
Yeah.
get a pump.
Oh,
get
God.
a pump. That's all I got to say.
And then, let's see. There was the 663 Autobahn
Yes.
host.
Well, it wasn't the Autobahn, it was the anti-Autobahn.
The anti-Autobahn.
What was it, John?
Well, yeah. Does anybody know the speed limit's 55 and you shouldn't be doing 30 or 40?
Yeah, 40. It's 40.
Well, it's a recommended speed, and there's times on 663 where you don't need to be doing 55.
Well,
Especially up by Tower Road.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you need to use caution
first
and
things
judgment.
first, 15 under, we're talking about it is a ticket. Like, you are impeding traffic. But go around?
Well, there's not a lot of passing zones.
I make my own.
Yeah, I know you do, but
That's why I have dents all over my vehicle.
Yeah, that's called reckless driving.
road rage.
Not necessarily. I was making a lane.
He was making a lane, and he was very skilled at it too. He's a professional
hang on a
stunt
second.
driver.
If I'm going 40, and the police guy behind me does the same thing, it's legal. Or the ambulance.
Ambulance.
So it's
With the
same.
ossifer falling behind
I
it.
pretended that I was a civil servant and I went around him.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Saturday night I did probably do 40 down that road myself in the Weiss Mercedes without the top down because I forgot to shut the little hatch when I put the cooler in.
Yeah.
I wanted to be so cool driving home with the top down. Let the wind blow through my
Skull.
beard.
Making your way downtown.
Making your way downtown.
Wow, we got a concert out of that one.
And I want you.
But, I did. I think I was probably going a little slow. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Apparently this guy's in a hurry to get home. Which, you know what? He's not. That's not what that post was about. He was in a hurry to get to work. He was in a hurry to get to work because he overslept. He's too lazy to get up with his alarm. And he had to make a post about this to let everybody know this. Which, honestly,
Well, maybe he had a power outage. Maybe alarm went to 12. And maybe it happened at, maybe the power went out at 12:15.
You sound like another guy that posts on Facebook all the time that continuously makes excuses about everything.
Well, hang on a second. Let's just ask a question. How do you set your alarm when you set your alarm? Do you have the old-fashioned alarm clock?
Some people do.
Do you?
I do not, but my son Bo, he does, and that's all you can hear is.
But you know why he does that? Because that's his excuse to be late. Everybody in the world sets it on their phone.
Yep.
I would say 99% of the world. Even me. Dude, you know me with technology in general. I'm like a big dumb guy. John Fix. The other day you fixed my phone. I don't know, John Fix. I don't know how to
Why
do
were you
this.
late today?
Here?
Yeah.
I was drinking.
Oh, okay. So then you had to come in hot.
He's an honest guy.
I was drinking. I was drinking tequila.
Ugh. Where at?
Don't judge me.
Where were you drinking
I was
tequila
at
at?
Beef O'Brady's with EJ, and I was drinking some tequila shots, and we were talking about football. It's football season finally, thank God. And I kept saying I got to go to the podcast, and I love you guys, but
Well,
I love tequila and football.
So then the Uber driver was late. Then you waited to call him.
No, I was the Uber driver. I drove backwards the whole way here. That's what took me
Did
so
you?
long.
Oh, okay.
I had to go back in time.
88 miles an hour.
88. Anyways, so there's a couple stories. I've had a couple. I know you've had some conversations locally here this week with some people. You talked to everybody too. I guess. Well, one announcement. I guess we all know that the HD10 elections open because Jake Elsey, won the ticket to go to
What is HD10?
House District 10. House of Representatives. So if
for Texas,
which means you're in the Austin House.
Okay, so
Jake Elsey got to go
state representative.
Right. So for people that I assume
HD10 means nothing to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and this is for the people out there that don't follow politics,
like you,
on a daily basis. So
78 texts this morning when I woke up from you.
3 o'clock in the morning, we were still
it was
getting
not 3
text
o'clock in the morning.
messages.
It was not.
Damn
Come on,
close.
dude. I went home early.
Look that up. I want to see it because I went to bed at 11.
No.
And after that, I got 78 more.
I was home by midnight. I really was. But so just what it is House District 10. That's our state representative for this area. It was Jake Elsey. When Ron White passed away and vacated his
Ron
spot.
White died?
Huh?
Ron White?
No, not the comedian.
Ron Wright.
He's a
Ron
friend of
Wright.
mine. I was worried
Did I say
about
White? I meant Ron Wright.
that. Okay, god dang. Ron White's
tip
a
of the
friend of
tongue
mine.
to the whatever.
Tip of the tongue, the tip.
Yeah, see?
So when he passed away, that vacated his
That's
spot.
why Ron White died. I was really scared. I love Ron White.
Actually, my mother's in Vegas going to see him tomorrow night.
He's a friend of mine. I've got a great picture.
She loves
with
him. She's seen him a few times.
Wow.
So
I'd like to see his son tour with him. Tater Tot.
Yeah.
So
You can't get rid of the tater.
I'm never going to get this story out
Coupon.
ever, and I'm the one who talks too
You
much.
gotta get the coupons.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
What
Shut
about,
up, Rob.
let me pull John. No, so Ron White writes.
Jesus, I'm so confused.
Ron White or Wright?
Does anybody know what the story's about anymore?
Ron White was the
White or Wright?
congressman.
Ron.
Start over.
Wright.
Ron Wright.
Start over. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron White was our congressman.
Said it wrong.
I said right.
You just said White again.
Okay, old Ronnie. We're gonna call him Ronnie.
Do I need to get cue cards?
So Ronnie passes away
Right.
and leaves a vacated spot for our congressman, okay?
Who?
Ronnie. And then Jake Elsey, who is our state representative, jumps
By the
in
way,
that race.
he's a bad mofo. Everybody wanted the other lady, the guy's wife.
Well, not everybody. He won by 60%.
but everybody we were talking to was like, "Oh no, you got to go for the right woman," which
Yeah.
is the wrong woman apparently.
Susan, yeah.
But dude, this dude, I read up on him. This dude was a beast, dude. Like he literally volunteered for forward observation of targets for the aircraft because he was he's a pilot. And he was teamed up with.
He's a helicopter pilot, right?
Yeah, but he was teamed up with the SEALs, and he was doing kind of forward observing and marking where they needed to hit and stuff. They're like, this dude's like a legitimate hero.
So wasn't there somebody that was pushing his agenda that was on the other side?
No, I mean,
Why was
it
everybody
depends
against
on
him
who
then?
you ask, but
Yeah.
just from my take, and it's just me, and this is just from what I saw because I didn't know much about either one of them. So, anyways, you probably just described more about Jake Elsey than I knew, until we talked. But so it came down to a runoff with Jake and Susan, and both Republicans. It appears, some Democratic officials or elected officials said, hey, we're going to go since, we've got to, I guess from what I understand, we've got to vote the lesser of two evils and would take Jake, so that was left an opening for.
I'm not even sure he's less too. I think he's actually more strict than she is.
Right. Well, it left an opening for campaign mud, I guess, if in order.
Well, a lot of that was done by the lady at the Republican down here, the Kathy lady.
Yeah.
I've heard she's throwing people off of one of the pages if they don't agree with.
Are we talking about Kathy Ponce?
I believe
Is that
so.
who you're talking? Yeah.
Oh,
It was
Lord.
somebody like that. And she was throwing people off of the Ellis County conservative page for backing him.
really?
She didn't want that. She wanted the other guy.
Well, I don't really know her.
Yeah, I read that
But
online.
I
I
can
don't know
tell
if
you
that's
from what
true.
I've read, there's a lot of drama that follows her. So I don't know.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with me, I don't care about politics. I mean, as long as people are doing their job, I really don't care whether you're Democratic or Republican. Just be moderate, be reasonable. I've never liked the whole political thing. Like, well, you know what, John, you got this, and I'm going to go ahead and ask you to take one for me. And then next time you got one that I don't like, I'll take one for you. How about we just go, look, I know you don't like this. What can I do that you can get with me on this? Like, whatever happened to compromise? There's no compromise anymore. And my thing is with politics, you got the left and the right. And I'm dead serious. I have no idea who's left and who's right. I just know that if you talk about the left or the right with me, I know you're a nutbag that's the other side.
Okay.
I sit in the middle.
Well, there's not just the left and the right. There's the left, there's the right, and there's the left, right.
Well, look, I sit in the middle, and I kind of like, just based on what the deal is, I kind of have an opinion. And so I kind of float back and forth, and I'm probably a horrible conservative. I try to be conservative as much as possible. I always vote with my wallet first off.
Yeah.
But I have religious principles. I am a religious person, or not a religious person, but I'm a Christian. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus,
and that's the same
Jesus
with me.
is my Lord and Savior, and
Yeah.
So I've got my opinions about things, but it's like abortion. You say all abortion is wrong. Well, is all abortion wrong? Like, if the woman gets raped, is it wrong for her to say, I don't want to rape baby? I don't know. I'm not God. I can't answer for that.
Or a woman, for that matter.
Well, I'm half woman. My mom was woman. I don't know if she is anymore. She was. But
I met her this weekend.
Hey,
She's
speaking of which,
definitely a
she sent me a private message today.
Did she really?
Yep.
Good.
She wanted me to send her the link to last week's podcast because, bless her heart,
Thank
she couldn't
God. I
find
was
it.
worried it was a hookup, and I was like, God dang, I have to call you Dad. It's going to be the worst thing ever.
Son,
Dude, that would be so funny. I would buy tickets for that show.
That would actually
Totally.
be classic.
oh man. But anyways, so back to get us back on track, we kind of veer off. But so Jake won the election, so he's
Yes.
going to represent us in Washington now.
Which I think is good.
I mean, he was highly supported by a lot of the people who didn't support him.
The guy gave his life fighting for our freedoms. Do you think he's going to give them up now?
No,
I mean,
no,
that's
not
what
Okay,
at all.
so that's going to leave an empty seat.
So that leaves an empty spot for Texas State House here, for a representative from our district here, House District 10. And you've got, I'm not sure who all has entered or hasn't, but, you got Brian Harrison, you've got Clark Whitcliffe, and you've got
Clarkson.
John Ray. John Ray, who was the representative for this district, he did not seek re-election, and now he's back. So,
Okay.
Jake Elsey actually, I think, took John Ray's
Everybody
spot.
needs a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that. You see these people, they've been there for 35 years, no break. Like, dude, get a break, get a life for
Right.
a while, and then go back to it. Like, you got to remember, dude, these people, and no matter what side they're on, they've given up their whole lives to sit there and bicker all day.
Right.
Man, that's a horrible job. I don't care what anybody says.
And it ought to be a pretty interesting race. So I'm sure there'll be
and Clark is a city councilman here,
Yeah.
right? So will he still be on the city council when he's running?
So, yes, while he's running, he will be a city councilman. When the election's over, he has to. Just so you know, this Clark's the one that told me this.
Well, it's in the city charter too, so you can read it.
Yeah, well, Clark actually told me, so I know I'm not misquoting this. Because I asked him, he does not have to resign. He will have to resign after the election, win or lose.
And then rerun.
Yes. Now he was coming up for re-election next year, and would have had to file in February for re-election. And so I asked him, I said, okay, so when you resign, is that going to leave a special election? And he said, I think the city council will vote to either A, have a special election to fill that spot to the end of his term, which would be, this next May, or they can vote to just wait.
All right, here's my question.
But either way, he has to run again.
Who pays for this special election?
Good. Ask Lobo. I don't know.
Fuck if I know.
I don't know who pays for it.
I mean, elections cost money.
I mean, your supporters or yourself. I mean, I've been a part of 2 campaigns, and I know where the money came for one.
The bigger question: if he's running for the new thing, how the hell is he going to do both jobs? You can't run and still.
Yeah, he's not. He's got to do one job or the other.
Yeah, it's 1 foot in and one out.
Yeah, that's why he's got to resign after the campaign. Oh, you talking about during the campaigning process?
He's all that campaigning. How's he going to have time to do both jobs?
I mean, that's a good question.
And
but
his regular gig.
But he can legally do that.
He's got a job too, because they don't get paid. The city council guys don't get paid.
No.
Do they get paid at that next level up?
Oh, I think so.
I have no clue.
No, I think when he goes to Washington, that's his job. I mean, to Austin.
Well, yeah, but not when the session's out.
Austinton.
Right?
Austinton.
Ron White. But no, I think he gets paid. I think you get paid. I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe we should look it up. Do House...
We're going to look it up right now.
Well, do House reps get paid?
We'll figure that out later.
Have we figured out who's running for governor yet? Have they actually made any announcements?
Chad Prater. So I watched a live video of Chad Prater. You guys know Chad, right? Okay, he's Burleson boy. I mean, I know you guys know. I've met him at Rednecks with Paychecks a few times. He's the political cowboy. He's been, had a deal for years. He's pretty
Facebook poke.
So he's running for governor. Abbott's rerunning. I don't know. You tell me.
I'm not sure he's going to be much better than that guy that ran for Congress. What was that guy, the wrestler guy that been in like 3 different states? Like he's
Are you talking?
he had the commercial.
Rod
riding the bull.
Yeah, Rod.
No. I'm going to disagree with you. I think he'd do a good job. He's got some good ideas.
Guy,
I don't know anything about it. But all I know is he pretty much has
Chad
a bunch
Prater?
of funny
Oh, yeah,
videos,
absolutely.
So I don't know.
I like what I've heard so far.
Oh, Chad's would be a major change of pace. But Huffine's the guy that used to own Huffine's car dealership. He's running.
No, I'm not voting for him.
I'm just saying he's running.
Yeah,
Is it Ray Huffines?
Dan
Huffines.
Dan Huffines?
That's not the guy. Ray owns Huffines.
Maybe he's not the Huffines car dealer.
He's probably from the family.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's from the family, but yeah. So
And
Ray's
then,
the guy that owns all.
And then Alan West.
Which, by the way, they're great people. I don't know anything about their politics, but they're great people. They're very, very Christian. They have prayer meetings like every week for all their managers and stuff like that. Like they are very good people. My buddy Craig Robbins runs Huffine Chevrolet.
They are.
And he left Sewell Cadillac for that. And man, he's happy as hell up there. So I mean, they're good people. So I don't know what the politics are.
Well, when I say I'm not voting for Huffines, it's not because he's a bad person or I disagree with his politics. It's because I want fresh blood in there, and I kind of like the ideas what Chad's throwing out.
Man, let me tell you,
Chad switched up a bit.
But the problem though is with that is when things are so aggressive like that, I don't think the rest of the world goes for it. You know what I mean?
Well, we're Texas. We don't have to worry about that.
Well, I'm talking about Texans. I mean, you don't have a lot of Texans here anymore. You got a lot of people move from out of state and stuff. Now, be careful who you run. You got to find somebody again who's more moderate. But who knows? Good. I mean, good luck to every one of them. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the Alan West
as long
guy.
as we don't turn into California, I really don't care. But I don't see that happening anyway.
No. So that's our little
That's what
spiel
happens
on
when you eat too fast, George.
what's George doing.
He's vomiting.
Oh, major announcement. George.
That was a major announcement.
But I even say here, this is even bigger.
This is hot.
George and
Harley
are going to tie the knot here and have a litter in the next couple weeks, and then it'll be about 4 months. Cement City Frenchies, new batch on the way. So
I think they're going to be Christmas.
they're Christmas
puppies.
babies, yeah. Well, we just did the math.
December
14th.
Yeah, if we were kind of predicting when she's going to be ready to be bred, and we're thinking probably going to be around December 14th to December 20th puppies.
Yeah.
If everything goes to plan.
Gives you about what we decided 4.5 months to save up.
Yeah, it means I'll be sleeping in the living room 24/7 for the next several weeks.
So Lobo, what'd you do this week? You said you had a conversation with the local business owner.
I went over to Main Street Gym. Remember there, I have 7 gym memberships. I went in there, had a buddy that wanted me to train him, and I said, well, I'll go talk to him and see about, training. I'm pretty much retired from training, but I for people that I care about, I'll do it.
And you got to get permission
So
to do that?
you got to get permission to train. You have to have your insurance. You have to have all this stuff. And it's a business negotiation. And when I talked to John's the owner.
John DeVito.
Yeah. And his wife, I forget her name.
Susie.
Susie, yes. And we started talking about the fitness center. And he actually brought up
The fitness center.
The
rec center. The rec center. Okay.
Which, by the way, let's call this the way it is. It is an actual fitness center. The Y is a fitness center. I mean, it's not about recreation. I mean,
basketball court, racquetball courts.
But okay, well, what do you have
lucky.
at your gym? I mean, if you think about it, you have all this stuff. If you have gym equipment, you're competing with this guy. It's an unfair competition.
You're right.
We've already talked about this. I'm not letting this go.
No.
I told him straight up, we'll both be talking to the city council meeting about this. I have knowledge he doesn't have. I've been through this before with my gym. But he brought up an interesting point. And we all know that the schools rent the pool from him, and the setup for them is that they're going to get to use the pools for free, which I think is, the whole thing's crappy to me, because you're taking tax money away from the city, because they're a 501(c)(3), they don't pay taxes. But even worse, you're putting a guy who's been in business for however many years out of business. And he had two things that really struck me. The first one was he said that he had gone to the Chamber of Commerce, and they had called him and they had said, well, you forgot to pay your dues. So there's a dude paying dues with the Chamber of Commerce, which I don't even understand why people do that. But he's doing that. I never did it with my businesses that I own, but he's doing it. He goes down to pay it, and in there they have signs to vote yes for the proposition to put him out of business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are the guys you're paying dues to, voting against your business. Which, by the way, there will be no commerce because there's no taxes from this. It all goes to a different entity that's not even in our town, where this guy is actually a town guy. But he hit me with a different one, and it brought me back to, what's his name, Tom, that we had? The football.
Tim Roberts.
Tim. Sorry,
Roberts.
Tim. I'm bad with names.
His brother's Tom.
Well, but Tim is the one I like. I don't like his brother. I don't know his brother. So, if the Y actually does get this deal, it wipes out his football organization? It wipes out all local organizations, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to start their own football program. They're going to start their own little league. They're going to start all this. They're going to put not just, John out of business. They're going to put these organizations that have been working their butt off, like Tim and his people, they're going to put them out of business, because now the Y takes that over.
Yeah, I hope that the stigmatism...
So this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
No,
if you think about it.
It is.
It's not just like, to me, I think Jim. I'm a Jim. He's a Jim. Wow, this is bad. You don't do this. But now we're starting to talk about city Chamber of Commerce being on board with it. That's pretty crappy if you think about it. This guy's paying dues to you, and you're over there saying, hey, we want you out of business. Well, you're taking his money. That's crappy. Whoever's on the Chamber of Commerce, you should be ashamed of yourself for that. But now you start thinking about all these youth sports organizations that we have here who have worked hard for years, and we heard like they went to the Super Bowl. They had a Super Bowl here and all these other things.
Couldn't have it here.
Well, of course, couldn't have it here because of the school board and this and that and the other thing. And now you're going to put this guy out of business because everybody's going to want to go to the Y for their stuff. Man, this is getting crappier and crappier. Like, the politics in this town are really crappy.
Yeah. The only thing that
really
I can hope in that situation is, if it happens, that the stigmatism of playing basketball at the Y, it's usually like bottom of the barrel.
Not at all. Not at all. Go to Highland Park.
Really?
Everything in Dallas runs through the Y. There are no other organizations in Dallas. When we had our son and we lived in Highland Park and we lived, in North Dallas and stuff, everything runs through the Y. Everything. And there's no stigma. Actually, if you're not with the Y, you're lower.
Well, I know Y baseball here in Waxahachie, Y basketball. Like I said,
but
the only time you play there is your very first year, and then you get out.
But you're thinking old school.
Yeah.
The new school is not like that. Sorry. The new school is dead serious. It's the Y, the Y, the Y until
really?
You get into your sports. And
of course, it's $30 to play there.
Right.
So,
but no, it's getting worse and worse and worse. The whole deal is a bad deal for the city. It's a bad deal for the residents. It's a bad deal for the business owners. You got 5 businesses going to go out of business business, so that you can get no tax money from them. It's all going to go to the other guy.
Yeah, we don't need it.
And that's going to be not even here. I think where's the Y out of, like Atlanta or something like that? All our money's going over there.
Yeah.
No. This is everybody in Midlothian loves to talk about small town Midlothian. We want to keep it small. We're all about our people and small business. Well, there's 5 small businesses.
Raise hell about this.
If you wanted to run your mouth about this. This is not right. What's happening? I mean, I felt bad when I left. I mean, I love the dude to begin with. I just love the way he runs his business.
He's got a nice
I love
gym.
the gym. It takes me all the way back to when I first got in the gym business. I even told him that. It reminds me of the first gym I was ever in my life. And I love going there. Everybody's nice. Everybody knows each other. Yeah, when you talk small town, you're talking that gym.
Would you tell me, almost to the day, 30-something years ago, you started in the fitness industry?
Friday will be 37 years doing what I do for a living. Mm-hmm. Well, not the acting, but the fitness.
Yeah.
And that actually hit me this morning. I was talking to a kid at the gym I trained a couple people out of in Uptown, and I said, Friday will be 37 years I've been in the gym business. And the kid goes, I'm 26.
Well, that would be more.
So I started looking around the gym, and there was me and one other old guy in there, and every other person in that gym was younger than I've actually done my job.
Wow.
I felt old the other night when we were watching the fight. I'm 40. I'm a young 42. I feel like I'm cool. My kids sometimes think I try too hard. For their likings, but
try too hard?
No, I'm not up to date on all the new lingo. I'm definitely not up to date on all the new rap music because I just don't like it. I'm old school, man. I mean, gangster rap was gangster rap, okay, in early mid '90s.
I mean, you can still rap. You're still good.
Well, we should have a podcast with him doing that the whole damn time.
I'll battle anybody in the city.
I told you the other day, my brother Greg has a rap song. He doesn't have it on digital. That's how old he is. It was actually a badass song. He wants to have a rap battle.
No, I'll get tore up.
I don't know. This might be kind of cool.
You're pretty good, Rob.
I'm thinking we might have to have something at the house and get Boober over there with his stuff and have another rap battle because, I mean, I'd like to see this.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
I mean, you know Greg.
I don't care. I could dish it out and I can take it just as easy. So it's all good. But so we're at this party watching. Well, it's really been a party. It was a get together. We're Lobo and I. Remember what you were doing? You went home. Yeah, you had to check on the dogs.
Take care of dogs.
Take care of the dogs. So we go over and we watch the UFC fights, and it's my wife and I and Lobo and his wife sitting there watching the UFC fights in the living room, and there was about a dozen young to mid 20-year-old age group there hanging out. They come in the kitchen. I forgot where I was for a second because we're watching the fight, and they're in there.
Great photo of them covered up in a blankie together.
Yeah.
Forgot you took that.
Of course, I wasn't in the blankie with my wife.
No, she took it all.
So that's a good picture, good example. So they come in the kitchen, they're hooting and hollering, and I literally almost went, "Hey!" like I would my kids, and I was like, "I'm at somebody else's house. I'm getting old. I'm getting old."
Yep.
I literally was just like, where did all these kids come from?
And then after I did that, I think you actually did say something like, "Hey, we're trying to watch a fight here."
Yeah.
They didn't say anything. They just kept going, didn't they?
They don't care. And the parents don't care. That's the problem. Parents these days, they don't care about their kids. They're fine. They're out there playing. It's like, no, they're playing, but they're annoying everyone else.
There's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand.
Wow, you just showed your age with that one.
Yep.
That was the first Will Smith song.
Yep. On that was parents just don't understand. That was the first Will Smith song
first Will Smith
same
song.
album with Nightmare on Elm Street, and parents just don't understand.
When that was like 86.
Okay, here's the situation. My parents went away for a week's vacation.
Yep.
Will Smith.
Well, I don't have anything else. What do you got written down on that sheet there?
Well, I think we've pretty
kind of
much.
a slow week.
No, it's been a slow week. We don't have a guest this week, but just
trying to get the kids back into
kids are going back
schedule.
to school. Yep, kids are going back to school here Monday.
It's been one of those.
Wait for those school zones.
Oh,
yeah.
love them.
Wasn't last weekend tax-free weekend too?
It was. I think Dallas either
Hey,
started
does
already.
663 have a school zone on it?
Like 3 of them.
Yeah.
No, it's not that 3.
So you can go 40 during the school.
Okay, so right there at Tower Road.
McAlpin.
Well, no. First, there's Tower Road because I used to live in Rosebud. Back to this speeding. The school zone starts right after Tower Road for Mountain Peak Elementary. And when my son totaled the new Camaro that I bought him, he was, pulling out. They were building that neighborhood, the Bloomfield neighborhood, and an 18-wheeler was turning wide onto Tower Road. Well, he knew he was turning, and there was no cars coming from the south side. So he goes, well, what happened was a car jumped the lane to pass him illegally, and boom, totaled my Camaro and shot him into the church parking lot right there. So
Oh, wow.
it's dangerous down there, especially when you come.
Is that when you
up on
say
that,
Jesus take the wheel?
Jesus take the wheel? He didn't even get hurt.
He was
Tore
in
that
the
car
church.
up. They totaled that car. Oh my God.
He was in a church parking lot.
Well,
saying Jesus.
that's what people don't get is, impatience that's what causes accidents.
Yep.
And trying to, whether it's an 18-wheeler turning wide or a school bus, we see it every day, and there's a lot of assholes out there that just don't get it. Dude, it's going to take you at 40 mile an hour. It's going to take you an extra 1.5-2 minutes to get to the light at 287.
Yeah.
It's not worth going around someone in a no passing zone, showing your ass, and then killing a family of 5.
Yeah.
Well, it always cracks me up when you get passed by this guy, and he's yelling at you and all that, and then you get up to the light and he's sitting
Guess
there.
who's sitting at the light?
Yeah, and you're not getting any farther. These kids, you see them and they're weaving in and out of traffic, and then you realize that you get to the light and there's the kid sitting right next to you. It's like you just put 10 extra miles on your car, weaving around, driving like an asshole. I'm right here next to you.
Yep.
I drive like an old man. I mean, I'm a professional driver. I can drive. You've ridden with me. I can drive. Mm-hmm. I drive like an old man 90% of the time.
Unless we're in a Mercedes.
Well, I mean, if I'm out to do that, yeah. But for the most part, I drive like an old man. I'm not in a hurry. I'm going to get there when I get there.
Right.
I'm
I
the same
leave
way.
early, and again, that's what this boils down to. This guy woke up late. Too mad because he was going to be late to work.
Well, he's already late, so what's the difference?
Get your ass up early. That's part of
If
it.
he was smart,
Part of it.
No, if he was smart, he'd stop at the donut shop, get a bunch of taquitos for the whole office, and then go in, and you're not the guy that's late. You're the guy who stopped and got breakfast.
My first client of the day that I train in town when I'm in town is at 7 a.m. I get up at 4 a.m. I stop and I get coffee and I get something to eat, and if I need gas, I stop and get gas. I mosey around. I get there early. My dad was a weird dude when we were working construction years and years ago. That's what he did for a living. We would get to work, we're an hour early sitting in a truck. No one's even there yet. And I'm like, why in the hell are we here this early? He said, well, I'd rather be an hour early than a minute late.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's been with me my whole life.
Same with me.
So, my thing is if I get up early and I make my stops and I take my time, now I'm not stressed out. I'm not pissing off other drivers by cutting them off and doing all that. That could ruin somebody's day. I get to work early. I got about a half hour to sit in the truck, decompress from my drive and get my head right, and then go in and be in a good mental attitude when I go in. And I always feel, well, I just need 30 more minutes of sleep. Why do you need 30 more minutes of sleep? No one in this world needs 30 more minutes.
See, you inherited a trait from your father. Mine's the opposite. And I'm an extremely punctual guy. Punctuality drives me crazy if it's not adhered to.
Same here.
Mine's different. I was the kid who always showed up late to football practice, late to any sporting practice event, late to the kindergarten graduation, and because my dad was always late. He was the guy that, if we're having Thanksgiving dinner or at 6 o'clock, you tell him it's at 5, so that.
My dad actually had a very valid point. He said
I was
that
embarrassed.
If you show up late, you're showing a disservice to yourself, the person you're there to meet, and the reason that you're there. You're showing disrespect. So make sure you're there on time. So I've always been on time. If I'm late, there's something big. Like I was drinking tequila with EJ at
Beef O'Brady's.
Beef O'Brady's.
Yeah,
which, by the way, I still made it here at 6:29, which was one
You
minute
did.
early. But that's late for me, way
Yeah.
late. But I just, So what? Let the guy drive 40. Was he going to kill you?
Yeah.
And you see these guys, and they're sitting there, and they're tapping their steering wheel, and they're going nuts. It's like, who's the only person that's getting pissed off here? Just you. Just take a deep breath, bro.
Yep.
Enjoy it. You're going to sit in traffic anyway. We live in Midlothian, and you have to go all the way to Dallas. You're going to sit in traffic. It's part of the deal.
It's happening. It's coming.
Just get used to it.
Yep. So last week we had a lot of good response and a lot of views with the whole Founders Row episode, and
Steven's a good dude.
Mr. Stephen Hoddlebaugh that came on, and it seems like the community really liked that. You know, you guys seem to prefer to hear about what's coming versus things that you already know here in town. So we've got some tricks up our sleeves here for the next upcoming weeks. I mean, we've talked about a few things. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but certain people that I know you and I and we've talked about having come on as far as different.
It's not even about coming on. It's people we need to talk to and find out what all's going on. Like, there's things going on that people don't realize are going on, and so they assume that nothing's going on because they haven't heard about it. But there's things going on. We're going to find out those things going on and let people know that things are going on so that they can calm down a little bit and not freak out over nothing.
Because you're right. There are things coming.
There's amazing. On that podcast, we pretty much answered every question there was. I mean, I can't think of another question, but it would surprise me how many people either messaged or made a comment about something that could have been answered if they just watched it or listened to it.
Yeah,
it was obvious they didn't watch or listen.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ask me questions. I've answered your questions. Watch it.
Yeah,
because if I had to answer every question I had, I mean, literally, I had 300-400 messages.
Yeah.
What are they doing with this? What are they doing with that? Dude, watch the podcast. He would have said it.
Yeah, that's anytime I responded to anybody asking something about the podcast, my response was, good question, and it's in there. It explains it
we covered
in the podcast.
We covered that thoroughly.
Yeah, that was
Click
good.
the link. Click the link.
Yes, and if you subscribe, you can click the link anytime you want.
Yeah. Yep, and you get notifications when the new episodes are uploaded.
So. Guys, you guys got anything else? We want to tie a bow on this one?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
Well, one thing I want to say, back up.
Jesus Christ, we were almost out of here.
I know. Well, we need to pray to Jesus Christ for Mr. Pena.
Yep.
He's still struggling in hospital. He's if watching all the comments or the updates, it looks like he steps three steps forward and 2 steps back. Right. So,
well, my brother's in there too. Todd's in there right now too.
So let's pray for Lobo's brother and for Richard Pena, please. These guys they're great guys, and they could really use the prayers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Jennifer needs prayers for strength. I mean,
she does.
It's so hard for her.
Well,
with her husband and
financially, mentally.
There was an interesting thing. We're going to get the vaccine. My wife and I are going to get the vaccine, and I'm not totally sold on the whole thing, but I'm just going to do it. I have to do it. I cannot work on a movie if I do not have the vaccine. That's the new rule. SAG said that with all the production companies. They've come into an agreement. I've had to turn down some auditions because I can't work because I don't have the vaccine. And Daddy wants to be famous and make some money. So I'm going to go ahead and do it.
I want you to be famous so we can be like Entourage.
Well, because you guys kiss my ass all the time. But the thing is that her doctor actually had a very good question for her that made me kind of think. And what the question was, well, you don't need to get the vaccine, but if it keeps you from getting sick, would it be worth it? And she said, well, I could. And she said, well, let's put it this way. Can you afford to be out of work for an extended period of time in ICU and still be able to pay your bills and still be able to live your life and do all those other things? That's the way you look at the vaccine to me. It may not help you, but if it does, how broke would you be if you couldn't work for a month?
Right.
This is one of the things no one's thinking about with Pena. In addition to his health, he got bills.
Yeah, he's not selling houses.
Yeah, he's not selling houses. He's not out there. So, the vaccine may be a thing for you. You need to sit back and think about that. Can I, based off of my obstinance, Because that's what put my brother there. He didn't want to admit he had it. And he kept on trucking, and he got to a spot where he was screwed. He didn't want to go see the doctor. He was hard-headed. Vaccine, this, that, the whole deal. And look where he is.
Did he have the vaccine?
He didn't have the vaccine.
No.
Okay, I'm going to throw one at you. Here's a fastball. High and from the right. What happens if you get the shot and you die?
Well, then I assume it's your time to go anyway. But I'd rather...
You just left the family that you couldn't afford to be out of work for 30 days. You just left the family alone with the breadwinner, possibly, or the bread contributor, major or minor, it doesn't matter. Either way.
But now it's not your problem anymore. Now you're dead.
But now your children have to live and your wife has to live.
Very few people are dying.
It's happened more than you think.
No, it really hasn't.
It has.
No, it really hasn't.
Well, I'll show you.
I mean, I've looked at it. I've researched this because I'm gonna wind up doing it. But again, that also boils down to which vaccine you get. I mean, everybody knows the Moderna one has problems.
And so is Johnson & Johnson.
Right. So
I'm not criticizing you. I think if that's what you need to do, then do it.
See, I don't give a fuck about dying anyway. I mean, I should have been dead a long time ago. I don't really care. I mean, to me, if I die, that just means, hey, fuck it, who cares? But, to me, it's like, when you start looking at the usability of life, when your life's gone, your life's gone. And yeah, you're right, your family and your kids. I don't have kids. I mean, my kids are grown. And my wife makes money and she does her thing. But the chances of dying from the vaccine are way less, in my opinion, than dying from the disease, if it gets to the spot where, like, my brother is and stuff like that. So, you know what, I'm going to do it. Who cares? I mean, I just don't care. It's this whole government control and the government's making you do this. Well, everybody around the world's taking the vaccine. It's not just our government doing it. This isn't some deep state cover-up crap like everybody's turning it out to be. The whole world's doing a vaccine. Take the vaccine. Who cares? You did one for measles. Did one for smallpox. What's the difference? Take a vaccine. No big deal. At the very best case, you got to realize it's like right now in New York, you can't even go out and eat if you don't have a vaccine. You can't go to a movie. You can't go anywhere. And it's not even about wearing masks anymore. We're going to wear masks if they tell us to wear masks. We don't have a choice. But, I mean, literally, how many civil liberties are you willing to give up so that you can do this? You go, well, it's not going to happen in Texas. Well, let's see what happens if Abbott doesn't win the second time or this time. It's going to be in the same spot.
Hey, you hear what happened to Cuomo?
Yeah.
Gone.
But the thing is, though, his plea deal was that we don't get to hear any of the details.
Oh, of course.
I'd like to hear some details.
Yeah, we all know he's a dirtbag.
Well, that's the thing. If this was a Republican dude, we'd be hearing all that.
Absolutely.
Because he's a Democrat, we don't have to hear this stuff.
Because they hold a higher standard.
So he's officially out of office.
He's gone. He resigned.
As of
today.
Yeah. It's just stupid. It's stupid shit.
So Rudy Giuliani needs to jump back in there.
Trump was the rapist, but here's the real rapist. Okay, cool. We're just going to let him slide. Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Government is screwed, no matter what anybody says.
That's right.
Like it's like Christianity. Christianity's not screwed. Religion is screwed.
Right.
We're not screwed. Our governing bodies are screwed.
That's right.
Well, we are done for today, and everyone, please pray for Richard and Lobo's brother. And Rob, got anything?
That's all I got, buddy. We've got, like I said, we've got some exciting stuff coming up here in the next few weeks, so stick with us. And thanks for your support last week, guys, really. Thanks for the support every week. We're growing the podcast every week. It keeps scaling, and thank you. Like, share, tell somebody about us. We appreciate you.
Yes.
And you don't have to wait to watch us. If you run into Rob anywhere, he will talk to you for hours.
So get it out of your system. But guys,
I'm about to hire you as my bodyguard.
And text.
We'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Later.